Alright, disclaimers on this video. Number one, this is not a free anvil stand. It is a relatively inexpensive, like cheap versus free. I mean, this isn't free, but you're not gonna have a couple $100s in steel into it. And if you live in an area that you can't find or don't have the time, or like me, just didn't want to have a tree stump or a chunk of a log sitting around in your shop, and you want it sort of portable, like so you can hit on it all day and move it into the corner of the garage at night, this is the video for you. If you're looking for anything else, anything super trick or perfect, or if you don't like the way I did it, I'll take tips, but I'm not going to listen to anybody say about how much of a big scrap this is, because I love it. It's done, and if you've seen the picture in the description, it's what you're looking at. Okay, here we go. Alright, so today's project, well, maybe today's and tomorrow's, depending on how far I get, we're gonna make a stand for this thing. And yes, I have a welder. I've welded the quarters on my car. I put together tractor components, welded on my own trailer. There's a video on YouTube of me extending my trailer ramps. I'm a very confident welder. However, I don't know that I have enough and the right type of material to make my own anvil stand. I just don't usually deal in stuff that's that thick and that heavy. So maybe someday I'll make a 3-post anvil stand. But this stuff I've had forever. Probably going on 15 years. And don't mind that steel, that's all from my trailer. And there used to be a fence out there that I hated the moment I bought the house. Matter of fact, it's the first modification I did. Tore the fence out, tore the posts out, threw the posts in the basement, because back then I was poor. Still kind of poor. Maybe just a different level of poverty. But anyways, I kept them and I just never did anything with them. So that's part of the reason why I'm building it out of wood. Now, they say, and I'm going to put you back in the stand, that you want your anvil to be mounted just below knuckle height. I'm 6'1", and that looks just below my knuckles. Matter of fact, if I swing a hammer, okay, that's where it hits. And if you ever doubted this anvil had rebound, I didn't show it in the other video, but I am not bringing it back up. That's just it. Very good. So first things first, we're going to do is measure up how high this is, figure out if we have enough wood here to do it, and then figure out something. So what I figured out is the base of the anvil is 11 by 11, and that's 20 inches high. I have enough here that I should be able to get 16, I think. I forgot my math already. 16 20-inch lengths of 3x3 lumber. Or 3 by 3.5 by 3.5, because a 4x4 is actually 3.5 by 3.5. And I should be able to get away with 12. But we're going to do 16 just because I have it. And because, you know, in case one of these splits or is bad or something stupid. And there you have it, all chopped up. Now, I probably should have covered this in the beginning, but the reason I'm not doing this out of a stump is because I just don't like the idea of dragging an old stump and a bunch of bugs in. And this is treated wood, believe it or not, so I should never have to do this again unless I choose to. At least that's the hope. Unless I really screwed up and I cut them all wrong and I hate it and then I have to do it again. But it's roughly 14 by 14 the way it stands. This would be the top or the bottom, top or the bottom. And what I'll probably do, whenever I'm looking at it, I end up with 2 extra. And like I said, this was scrap wood. So I'm just gonna push them out like that, and then maybe eventually I'll add like a 2x4 across here, and that'll either hold some hammers and tongs, or maybe, oh, I don't know, a little thing of water. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna sand the edges. I'm actually gonna glue this together with some wood glue. Don't have to get fancy with your wood glue, especially if it's gonna live inside. See what I got for, yeah, a little tight bond. Not sponsored, but zip tie fell. Not sponsored by them, but they make some good stuff. But I'm just gonna take some of the rough off of a bunch of those, and I'm gonna line them all up, probably on a stand, kind of like that one, and then and clamp them together. Up there. So I stacked them on the floor. We're gonna let them dry 24 hours. And we'll come back and we'll glue them all together. And for those of you who are going to sit there and boo-hoo me about gluing these together, two things. Number one, I never said that was the only thing I was going to do. So yes, these will get a mechanical bond of sorts. Number two thing, sorry, I gotta sit down. Number two thing is you should really look up what the strength levels are of some of these newer wood glues, especially this tight bond stuff. It's phenomenal. Project Farm did a excellent video on the different strengths of wood glues, and some of these will hold up to like 4,000 pounds. That one not included. And he was using the cut ends of 2x4s and sticking them together. This is a 4x4, so that's like every 3.5 inches. That's two 2x4s. So 20 inches at 3.5. Let's make that. Let's just round up to 7 because, you know, 21 divided by 7 is 3. So, well, let's make it 6 to call it average. So 6 times 2 times 4,000. 6 times 2 is 12. 4,000 times 2 would be 8. That'd be 48,000 pounds of strength if they glue up half as well. Or if they glue up at the same rate. Even if they glue up at half as well, that's still 28,000 pounds of force to break them apart again. So I think they'll be alright if I just left them as is. Now I'm going to have to take, some of them didn't fit up exactly perfect, so I'll have to get some sander paper and sand those edges down a little bit after it dries, but that'll probably be after we get it all glued together and sitting on the floor. I'm going to figure out if it bothers me enough to do it, or if I can live with it, or if it wobbles or something like that. But yeah, alright, gotta let these set for 24 hours and clean up the mess so Wifey Poo can park in the garage. Alright, clean up. Alright, I lied. It's actually a little bit later the same day, but we're going to try to assemble this guy. The second part. Glue should have had enough time to set. Oh, why did I do that? That was dumb. So, it's confession time. I am not sure how much of that original footage I'm going to leave in the next video. Because, well, I mean, it wasn't an epic fail. The engineering was sound, the execution sucked. I didn't have enough clamps to clamp everything together, so therefore we ended up with all these gaps, because as wood is wood, it is not 100% true. And because of that, there are certain parts that are just going to come apart. And if you look close enough, you can see that a lot of the problem is the glue only, sorry, there ain't a whole lot of light there, but all this glue in here, which also hasn't dried for some reason, but it's only touching here, here, like here, but it's not, how do I say, it's not making solid contact. So we're going to revisit this and see if we can't do better. Alright, time to go. Alright, I'm going to spare you the drama of all 4 of these that I made. But basically what you end up with is a billet. And we're going to stack our billets and glue them and screw them down. Probably put like 1 here, 1 there, 2 in the middle, 1 here, 1 there, and then the next one I'll do 1, 2 in the middle, 1, and then the opposite. So like I said, the glue should hold it for the most part, if I can get it drawn down tight enough. So alright, I hope that data didn't get lost, but my memory card says, hey, I might have puked, and I'm not sure what that means, but there you have it. There's my Anvil stand as built. A lot of glue, a lot of screws, a lot of stuff holding this thing together. I think it'll serve well for a very long time. The bottom might need some sanding, but till the glue takes up, there's no point in doing anything to it for now except letting it cure. Might smooth it out here a little bit. Might stand it up and see how it stands. I don't know, because you know, basically what I tried to do was keep one face as flat as could be. So that way if I do have to sand, I only have to sand one. And I'm not really sure what I did here, because this one's short, this one's not quite so short, and this one's just a little short, and then that one's long. And they're all out of the same piece. So maybe that was the first one or the last one, I don't know. Well, actually it was the second one, I can tell, because I got a 2 on it. I thought it'd be best to try to keep the wood together, but it didn't really matter, it doesn't seem. There's still some gaps in it, but nowhere near what we had last time. And quite frankly, the glue's probably overkill now. Probably get away with just the lag screws, but I thought, you know, why not? It was 10 bucks for a bottle. I used most of a bottle. No, actually I think it was $7. $7 for a bottle. It's Tight Bomb 3. Just my preferred brand. Really good wood glue. Alright. I got a mess. And I gotta clean it up before the wife comes home. So, it was at this point that I realized, even with the stop and cutting as perfect as I can't get exactly perfect cuts. Like there's an edge here, there's an edge here, there's an edge here. And that made this really unstable, wobbly. So to combat that, what I've decided to do is to take my router, and I bought a servicing bit. Now this isn't a very big router, it's only about it's a 1/4 inch. That's about a 1 inch servicing bit, which is about as big as I can get. And I made myself a rig. And the router fits down in here like that, and all I'm doing is passing it over top, back and forth as I slide across, and I'm going and you can see, if you look closely, I think you can see the waves where it's passed, but where it's touched is laser straight. I mean, it's perfect. I haven't quite got down into all of it, and that one right there is the deepest one. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take and lower, loosen the chucks up, pull my bit down just a little bit, and keep going over it. Like I said, I've never done this before, and it's something kind of unique, and I'm experimenting along the way. So don't yell at me too bad in the comments if you think that I'm stupid or whatever else. I know. Don't worry about it. This is my interpretation, and I'm doing this for me, not for you. Well, actually for you too. So you can see either how dumb I am or how genius this is. So, there you have it. I might give it a quick sand, just because, but that sucker's flat. Flat, 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 flat. Like I can't even catch an edge. And I'm thinking I might go ahead and attach my router bit and just router these edges too, because then that'll just, I don't know, fancy it up even more. I won't have this rough edge. I won't have to get out my file these edges. It'll just be routed and done and done and done and done and done, and that'll be good. Yay, I'm actually kind of happy. It's been a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but I can't say it hasn't been worth it. Alright, you're going to clean up this mess, and then I don't think you guys need to watch me do the other side. Well, I gotta say, that was a lot of work, but I am actually very, very happy with that. Say what you want in the comments about, you know, this, that, and the other thing, but I think that's easily a pretty good $100 anvil stand, no matter how you do the math. I mean, I think it looks the part. I might torch it a little bit. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to, just to give it some more of a look to it. But it fits the anvil perfect. I'll probably use a little bit of that for, you know, like a clamps. I haven't decided that yet, but I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, I got a mess. I am going to have to go back and review the film and see if you saw that, but there it is, my Anvil stand, and it rocks. It looks awesome. I was thinking about making handles for like putting in like here and picking up, but then I thought maybe if I just used the horn to tip it, it might work, and that does work. But what I think is going to work even more spectacular, and I'm not going to shoot this on this video, is I'm eventually going to, because you know, literally it could be just be a pipe, but I'm going to stick something down into the hardy hole, a handle, and just, and then I can wheel that sucker all around, because once it's tipped back on these wheels, it's good. As you can see, both wheels spin when it's sitting flush, so there's no weight on the wheels. I can beat on this thing all day long, and everything's going to go straight down through. The burn finish is great. The only thing, I know some of you are going to question this, is the fact that I use these, you know, drywall screws. Well, these actually aren't drywall screws, these are deck screws. There's a difference between a drywall screw and a deck screw. A drywall screw is way harder than a deck screw and isn't meant to take the kind of pressures, or the fact that it's treated for corrosion. But I mean, I like it. It takes a little bit to get it moving, but it's definitely more portable than not portable at all. And I can still get to it from the sides if I want to move it with the, where is it? That sucker. Which you never know, I might actually prefer that too. But now I have options, and if worse come to worse, I could just buzz them wheels off and not worry about it. But yeah, I am absolutely tickled. Orange, blue, black, purple, green, red, all different colors. That looks freaking awesome. Freaking love it. And if I ever would decide I'm going to fix up this anvil, which I'm going back and forth with it. I know it's only original once, and I agree, it's only original once. Like, once I tune it up, so to speak,